Welcome to our video on the top 10 perks in the most recent version of Dead by Daylight. In this game, players take on the role of either a survivor trying to escape from a killer or the killer trying to sacrifice survivors to the entity. Perks are abilities that can be unlocked and equipped to aid players in their respective roles, some being better than others. Without further ado, let's dive into the top 10 perks in Dead by Daylight. Starting us off at 10, Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention is a killer perk that allows the player to block access to a set of 3 generators for a limited time. This can be a great way to slow down survivors at the beginning of the game, giving the killer more time to hunt them down. By forcing survivors to work on the remaining generators, the killer can disrupt their plans and create more opportunities to strike. For number 9, we have Dead Hard, a survivor perk that can be a lifesaver in tight situations. When activated, the player can quickly dash forward, avoiding incoming attacks and potentially saving themselves from being downed by the killer. However, it takes precise timing to use effectively, as it only lasts for a brief moment. This perk can be a great way to turn the tables and escape the killer's grasp. Next up at 8, we have Iron Maiden, which is a killer perk that can catch survivors off guard. When a survivor exits a locker, Iron Maiden reveals their location to the killer and causes them to scream, giving the killer an advantage in hunting them down. This can be a great way to punish survivors who rely on lockers to evade the killer, and it can also be a useful way to gather information about survivor locations. For number 7, we have Soul Guard, a survivor perk that's all about resilience. Once per trial, the player can instantly recover from the dying state and prevent themselves from being affected by certain status effects, such as the exposed status effect. This perk can help players get back into the game quickly and turn the tide in their favor, especially in high-pressure situations. Coming in at number 6, we have Discordance, a killer perk that's all about information. When activated, it highlights generators being worked on by 2 or more survivors, allowing the killer to quickly locate and interrupt their progress. This can be particularly useful when survivors are working together to complete generators, as it can disrupt their plans and create more opportunities for the killer to strike. For number 5, Adrenaline. Adrenaline is a survivor perk that's all about speed. When the final generator is completed, Adrenaline instantly heals the player to full health and grants a speed boost, helping them escape the killer's clutches. This perk can be a great way to turn the tables in a desperate situation and make a quick getaway. Up next, for 4, we have Infectious Fright. Infectious Fright is a killer perk that's all about terror. When the survivor is downed within the killer terror radius, Infectious Fright causes other survivors within the terror radius to scream, revealing their locations to the killer. This can be a great way to create chaos and disrupt survivor plans, as well as potentially revealing hidden survivor locations. For the 3rd spot, we have Unbreakable. Unbreakable is a survivor perk that's all about resilience and giving players a second chance. Once per trial, the player can recover from the dying state without the aid of another survivor, giving them a chance to get back in the game and continue fighting. This perk can be a game changer in situations where all hope seems lost, allowing the player to turn the tables and fight back. A fan favorite at number 2, Hex Ruin. Hex Ruin is a killer perk that's all about slowing down the game. When activated, Hex Ruin causes survivors to struggle with skill checks when repairing generators, making it harder for them to complete generators quickly. This gives the killer more time to hunt them down and disrupt their plans, potentially leading to more successful kills and fewer survivors escaping. Finally, at number 1, we have Borrowed Time. Borrowed Time is a survivor perk that's all about teamwork. When activated, the player can save a fellow survivor from being sacrificed on hook, granting them a temporary health boost. And that's it for our list of the top 10 perks in the most recent version of Dead by Daylight. Did something about that video feel off? Maybe the way I talked? Or the way I worded things? Or the fact that Soul Guard doesn't do at all what I said it did? That's because this entire video script was generated by AI. I gave the prompt to make a top 10 perk list in Dead by Daylight, and it delivered, with some minor mistakes here and there. I then recorded myself reading the script and edited the video you just watched to make it feel as human as possible. In my opinion, it was pretty easy to tell that it was AI, but with how fast AI is advancing in its programming, there might be a time one day soon where AI-generated videos are indistinguishable from videos made by people. I personally think this is a huge problem, because part of what makes content and art is the creativity behind it. If AI art or content does evolve to the point of being indistinguishable from what's made by a human, then it'll eventually just become devoid of any emotion or creativity. It's recycling what it's been fed, so eventually it'll run out of human touch to be fed. Maybe later down the line I'll do this again and see if AI has gotten to the point where no one could tell. Make sure to subscribe to see that in the future, and let me know down in the comments what you think about AI. Do you think it's a problem? But going back to Dead by Daylight, AI isn't all that bad, because, come on, we'd all rather have an AI bot as a teammate than those who rank 20 megs. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Send this to a friend and see if they're able to figure out that this video was AI generated. And, as always, I'll see you next week. Good night, and peace.
I'm always singing about my fickle feelings, cause there ain't no antidote. Laying here in silence, cause I cannot find a damn remote. Even if I found it, I would probably just flip and flip. In the midst of August, getting started on my Christmas list.